This 7-year-old boy from Mount Washington is proving just how strong he is, fighting multiple battles with leukemia.
WDRB's Darby Bean shows us the impact of bone marrow transplants on his journey.
A moment no parent could forget. One never expected or wanted their child in the hospital.
I was diagnosed with leukemia the day after Christmas in 2018.
Cancer at just 4 years old, a white blood cell count through the roof. Picture after picture document just the surface of what Seth Walsh and his family have been through over the last 3.5 years. Chemo, hospital stays, multiple bone marrow transplants, and a clinical trial.
He has relapsed 4 times. Seth's case is a little bit different too because he's relapsed very fast.
But today, this is Seth, a 7-year-old showing off his strength on the playground with his brothers.
And that's how I do it.
He played flag football last season and plans to play soccer this fall. He signed on as an official member of the Bellarmine Knights basketball team and got a day to try on his jersey and show off his skills. He's taken his love of Star Wars to the Red Cross, where community members donated blood in his name. Seth has received over 200 blood transfusions during his treatments. Seth's parents say bone marrow transplants changed their lives and saved their sons. Now they hope more people will consider signing up to do it.
In bone marrow transplantation, not only you have the opportunity to give a high dose of chemotherapy, you also have the new donor cells, which can fight the leukemic cells and kill leukemic cells.
There are some times where chemotherapy alone is not enough to cure someone.
Seth's big brother Max was a close match and stepped up to become his first donor.
I'm now having to tell my 7-year-old, hey, you have an opportunity to save your brother's life. How do you explain that to a 7-year-old?
Despite their hope, Seth relapsed and eventually had another transplant, this time from a random donor through Be The Match, who ended up being a closer match than even Seth's family.
I still feel so blessed to this day that he had 4 matches. I have so many friends that have 0 matches, and that is just terrifying to me.
The impact these transplants can have run deep. In fact, Seth's doctors say his blood type and even blood chromosomes have changed to match his donor.
You use the donor cells to kill the leukemic cells, but since the donor cells replace the patient's own stem cell, as a result, all the blood cells have changed type.
If you're a male and you had a female donor and they do a blood test, you now have chromosomes that are the female chromosomes. So when you test the blood, the rest of your chromosomes will be the same as you had when you were born, but the blood cells will change.
A team of doctors spanning from Louisville to Cincinnati to Philadelphia have now been part of Seth's journey, each playing a role to get him to the next step. Unfortunately, another relapse came a few months after his most recent bone marrow transplant, but a therapy called CAR-T is helping give Seth the boost he needs to spend days like this running around.
Right now, as far as we know, he is in remission from a clinical trial that we just did at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
And now, over a year since his latest bone marrow transplant, his family just requested to learn the name of his anonymous donor. Up to this point, they'd been sticking with their Star Wars theme and calling her Rey.
Ray saved his life.
But they just found out she's a woman named Christy from Minnesota who signed up to donate after children in her own family battled cancer.
And her and me was a match.
Seth hasn't met her yet, but she's very much part of his life forever.
I'll tell her thanks for giving me your bone marrow. And I think that's it.
I'm just so grateful for her, and I know that it was, meant to be, that she was supposed to be in our lives, and now she has this connection with Seth.
A life-changing connection that's helped turn Seth's story to a new chapter. The Walshes live in Mount Washington and say they're just one of 7 families in the community affected by childhood cancer. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and they're holding a toy drive for kids at Norton Children's. For information on how to donate toys or to sign up to be a bone marrow donor, click on this story at WDRB.com. With photojournalist Jeff Gordon, Darby Bean, WDRB News.